A word on safety before we begin. Your two most common hazards are falling from heights due to ladder use and electric shock. Use the required safety equipment for your worksite and ensure all safety rules are followed. Consult local regulations in your area for further details and also follow any additional site procedures. Whatever you do, take no shortcuts. Materials required. In addition to the LED retrofit tubes, morettes, and possibly some hookup wire are going to be needed. Ensure all materials are approved for use and consult your local codes and standards for further details. Tools required. In addition to a step ladder, these are the tools I use for my fixture conversion. You may need additional items like supplementary lighting and voltage testers. Also, plan your work before starting this operation so you have all the tools and materials you need. In step 1, here we see a bad light that needs to be replaced. This is a great example of fluorescent tubes that have seen better days. Step 2, switch the power off. This removes all the electricity from the fixture. However, this may not be enough to ensure your safety. Also, make sure the breaker is off. This removes the electricity from both the switch and the fixture. This is a safer procedure, but note that additional tag-out and lockout procedures may be needed on your site. In this step, the cover is removed. Every cover is slightly different, but they either snap out of place or they're hinged. Carefully remove the cover and do a dust and clean. This gives you more light output and reduces heat buildup. Heat is the worst enemy of electrical devices. Now you can remove the old fluorescent tubes. A quarter turn and the tubes will come out of the end connections, often called tombstones. Carefully lower the tubes to the ground to prevent breakage. At this time you can remove the center cover to expose the ballast and wiring as seen in this picture. The cover is usually clipped in place and just snaps out, but some fixtures may also have screws that will have to be removed as well. And now you can disconnect all the wiring connections. The goal here is to cut the wires so the ballast is easily removed and enough wire is left over for reconnecting the incoming power supply to the tombstones. After cutting the wires, you can now remove the ballast. Ballasts are typically held into clips into the fixture with 1 or 2 screws. Remove these screws and slide out the ballast, and carefully lower it to the ground as well. At this point you now have a fixture, as shown in the photograph, that's ready for rewiring. Now we want to maintain and reconnect the ground wiring as shown in this picture. Here the ground connections are a bare copper wire from the supply circuit, and the green wire is integral to the fixture. Next step is to connect the hot, which is the black wire in this fixture, to the end of each set of tombstones. It doesn't matter which end, but use all the wires so there's no bare connections. And now connect the neutral, which is the white wire in this case, to the other end of each set of tombstones. Once again, use all the wires supplied. This is a picture of what the final wiring should look like at the connection end. Ensure the morettes conceal all the copper on the hot and neutral connections. This is another view of what the final wiring will look like for the entire fixture. The LED tubes you're installing are called self-ballasted, and this is why the existing ballasts that we removed are no longer required. Replace the center cover. Take care not to pinch any of the wiring between the cover and the fixture body. Now insert the LED tubes. Position them into the tombstones and then give them a quarter turn to lock them into position. Ensure the aluminum side of the tube is facing upwards towards the fixture body. And now you can turn the power on and verify correct operation. If the LED tubes fail to light, disconnect the power and check all the wiring connections you did in the previous steps. Now you can replace the cover and you have a complete, converted, good-as-new fixture. Depending on your skill level, a fixture conversion will take between 7 to 30 minutes. The final step in any situation is to clean up your work area, get rid of all the trash, wire ends, and so on, and dispose of the tubes and ballasts at your local environmental recycling center. As a note, Shan Power offers installation services and product disposal for the LED tubes. If you need further assistance, call us today for further details.